transportation needs from individual returns to corporations and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. With over 2 decades of experience, our ASC certified master technicians are experts in both foreign and domestic vehicles, ensuring accurate diagnosis and timely, cost-effective repairs. From oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly, mile after mile. Visit our website, smyrnaautorepair.com.
In Rutherford County, we need a sheriff who leads from the front, not from behind the desk. That's Kenneth Barrett, out on calls, side by side with deputies, tackling the tough stuff every shift. He's the working man's leader, supervising with sharp eyes, serving with steady hands, keeping our families safe. Born here, raised here, he's ready to protect here.
I'm Kenneth Barrett, running for Rutherford County Sheriff, and I'd appreciate your vote.
Paid for by Kenneth Barrett for Sheriff. Treasurer, Jan Stewart.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Auctions are easy, fast, and profitable.
You have a staff that comes to your home. They walk you through it. It's been my experience. What I thought I should get for my home, I got much more for it.
Call Parks Auction and Realty or visit parksauction.com.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Clark's Auction Company, committed to auction excellence.
Sold it to you, 27.5.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, 1019, 100.5, AM 1450, WGNSsports.com, Big G TV, streaming video, and always at the game. The game. The game. The game. The game. The game. It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's. On 1019, 100.5, 1450, WGNSsports.com, and Big G TV.
We're back here on the Coaches Show, and time to welcome in head coach Kevin Creasy of the Oakland Patriots. Winners last night over Bradley Central by a final score of 35-10. Coach, good morning. Congrats on the win.
Good morning. Appreciate it.
Good to have you here this morning, of course, and you know, this year's playoff run is a bit different, seeing a team like Bradley Central, which I think this was only the second time. I know it's the second time in the playoffs. I think maybe there were early 2000s we played Bradley Central, but don't get to see them very much, and certainly not in the second round.
Yeah, you know, definitely a little different with the way the playoffs are set up. You know, I thought it was pretty neat that you know, our region kind of went all over East Tennessee last night, and you know, both teams, Riverdale and Blackman, played well and represented our region well, and we got to host a game. I think that's important that, you know, you make the regular season worth something, and the 1 seed, you know, is getting to host 3 games now, and you know, I think it's one of those deals where I think it makes for interesting matchups and new rivalries and stuff like that. So we had a heck of a game 2 years ago with Bradley. It's one of the best games we've had and one of the biggest wins, and you know, possibly an upset because they had 5 D1 guys on that team, and really good atmosphere at their place. And you know, they came down here and played us tough last night, and give them a lot of credit. I thought they responded well after you know, going down 28-3, you know, come out in the second half and play as hard as they did. I thought that was really a testament to their coaches and their players.
The change in the playoffs, I think it might have caught some people by surprise. One thing that caught even me by surprise after all these years was that the quarterfinal round, it's predetermined who's home and away. And the reason that's a bit of a surprise is we've always had 2 Rutherford County teams playing each other there, and it went to highest seed. But you kind of alluded to it, winning the region is a huge prize now.
Yeah, and trust me, Cecil Joyce told me last night that Blackman would be hosting Maryville, and I was like, I think you got that wrong, but he was right.
Okay, well, I'm not the only one then.
You know, and I was like, I don't think that's right, you know, and But yeah, looking back at it, I think it would have been the way the old system was, us and Riverdale playing each other last night.
Yeah.
And, it just doesn't seem right or fair. We just played week 10. We would have played again week 12. So I think, the way it is now, you kind of get to see different matchups instead of people, just having to win the last time. You don't have to beat Riverdale or Oakland. You just got to beat them the second time. That's the most important. But, I think this does throw a kink into things, especially, Maryville being a 1 seed, having to travel that far. But, it does make for some great matchups. And I think Blackman will have their stadium packed, and it'll be a great matchup for them. And then, of course, Green Hill's coming to us, and they're right down the road, so I think we'll have a packed house as well. So it should be 2 great games in Murfreesboro next week.
Yeah, Green Hill had their hands full with Science Hill last night in a tight game. But, I mean, there were a lot of really close scores or closest, there weren't blowouts, and that made it, I think it was a lot more competitive last night from top to bottom. And you certainly had Bradley Central who brought out every bag of tricks that they could. Started the game with an onside kick.
Right, no doubt. And so, when it's win or go home, you want to leave there. You don't want to have any bullets left, I guess you could say, or shoot all your arrows or whatever. But ultimately, I thought if you look at all of the different playoffs compared to last year, round 2 matchups were closer contest. And a lot of it has to do with, the unfamiliarity of your opponent. Like I said, we've played Bradley once in my 11 years here. We've played Riverdale probably 15, 16 times, whatever. So ultimately we're playing Green Hill that we've never played and really hadn't watched film on them. If we hadn't played Cookeville, we wouldn't have seen Green Hill this year. So we've got a lot of work to do this weekend to get ready for those guys. And, I think Blackman's probably doing the same thing, getting ready for Maryville. So, yeah, that does change things a little bit. And then, if Blackman wins and we win, we could have a Blackman-Oakland matchup, in Murfreesboro, which would be huge. But there's a lot of football to be played before the next week.
Yeah, most certainly. We've got Kevin Creasy here talking Oakland football. You jump out on them, 21-0, and they kick a field goal right before halftime. Then, there was third quarter just went by so quick, but nobody scored in the third quarter. But it was certainly your team had some clock-eating drives in that second half.
Yep. Kamani Bass did a heck of a job for us. Like I said, I brag on him often. He's probably up to 129 pounds instead of 126 like he was a couple weeks ago. So he's packing it on. One of the smallest guys on the field, but making one of the biggest impacts, and had a great catch, right over the middle, and then a couple long runs just like he did against Riverdale a couple weeks ago. So he's a dynamic player and got us a big boost to start the game. And then, like you said, the second half, I thought both teams kind of settled down a little bit, and the defenses, kind of caught up with both offenses and played a little bit better and made some more plays in the backfield. I thought our defense, stepped it up with Cullen Williams, Trayvon Jackson making tremendous plays over and over and forcing those guys to go for it on fourth down and giving us great field position. And then, like I said, I think Craig Tutt, kind of went in the second half and kind of sealed the deal for us.
Yeah. That's a guy you want with the football, or, defensively too. He's in a tough spot. I mean, he'd be out there every single play. So you have to, I guess, juggle who's in, who's out, that kind of thing, personnel-wise, throughout the game for him.
Yeah. And, one of our best special teams guys, could be great at wide receiver, if we split him out. That guy's really talented. And Justice Haggard kind of rolled his ankle in about the second quarter. So, that gave Tut more of an opportunity to play. Haggard's been kind of our closer. He goes in and runs the ball well, usually in the fourth quarter. So that was tough this week. And then, like I said, hopefully, it's not anything major with Haggard because he's had a great year for us too. Just playing
15 touchdowns, I think.
Yeah, leads the team in touchdowns, and had a great reception last night. He's got great hands too. So these guys are good football players. They just not good athletes. They're really good at blocking, running, catching, all the things that you want in a football player, and they're not just athletes out there.
People who have not seen the Oakland Patriots and you all are just masterful at, Morton or Cameron, and just coming in, and no matter what happens, you might throw the Wildcat in there a little bit, but there's an art to that I'm if you haven't seen it, you need to come watch it because it's pretty remarkable how well you and the coaching staff do with that.
With the two quarterback system,
yeah,
those two, like I said, they're 1A and 1B. I mean, they both play off of each other, compete with each other. Both have their own unique talents, but then at the same time, you look at Morton right before half, had a option to throw a pass or run it, and he decides to run it and scores a rushing touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And Dante had a couple RPOs that he could have ran it, and he decided to throw it. So, those guys, like I said, they bring a whole different dimension to the offense, and probably give defensive coaches some late nights.
I bet. Kim's second rushing touchdown last night of the season, and but let's say they go out and there's a penalty, which did happen a little bit last night, procedure penalty. Then Cameron comes in to run the play that Morton was going to run, and there was a penalty. So, I mean, that there's something to being able to be ready to do what the guy in front of you was just supposed to do.
Yeah,
too,
and they do that in practice too.
Okay.
It's every other snap in practice. So, if we have 75 snaps in practice, they're splitting them evenly. And so that's why you can trust, no matter what the play call is, it's like having two starters. And both of them being able to run the offense and understanding the offense and understanding what we're wanting to get done. So, that wasn't the case last year. We had one quarterback, and if he ever got hurt, we were in trouble. So we're, trying to maximum protect on our pass plays, and that usually means only 2 or 3 people are out in the route, and couldn't let him turn loose and run it, and stuff like that, like he wanted to. But these guys, we can let them, drop back in empty protection, and we can have them run the ball without fear because we've got another guy that's right there willing and able right behind them. So it's good. It's good to have both those guys able to run, a pretty complicated offense.
We're talking Oakland football this morning. Kevin Creasy with us on the defensive side of the ball. I know you and I chatted about this last week, but to have everybody there and healthy, to see Kyrie back.
He did a good job of, stopping what they were trying to do, which was just 3-4 yard us to death, and our defense got them to out there. So I thought that was big, and that's going to happen more and more. The colder the weather gets, the further you go in the playoffs, people are going to just try to eat the clock, and keep the ball away from you. But I thought our defense did really good, not allowing that to happen.
Cullen Williams leads your team in tackles, had a game-high 9 last night. You put him and Trayvon Jackson together, that's really good up front, and then you've got the secondary. So, but it starts with those guys who often make plays. There's one time Cullen was in the backfield, it almost seemed like before the ball was snapped.
Yeah, yep. Cullen and Trayvon are both students of the game, and they kind of know the plays that are coming before they're ever ran. So they read their keys really well and make plays for us all night long. Usually both of them are double digits in tackles, and if they ever do miss one, then we got some very athletic safeties right behind them that should be cleaning things up too.
It was a great night, comfortable night, no worry about rain or anything like that. And it seemed like maybe it was the move to Thursday night last week. I don't know, but I saw some video of the crowd with the Cookeville game, and then I scanned the stands last night, and much, much better crowd.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and maybe it has to do with playing on Friday. You know, I do think the weather was absolutely perfect for a football game.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I thought our fans did a good job. I thought Bradley's fans did a great job of showing up as well. And then, like I said, with the Cookeville game, you know, disappointed because we actually lost money on that game.
That's wild.
So you don't expect that in the playoffs. But I think last night was, like I said, perfect setting, perfect weather, and then playing on a Friday night, you know, people getting off work and not having to go to work the next day. I think that probably did make a difference.
Yeah, and there weren't a lot of choices to go here in the county to see. There were two to see a game. Otherwise, you had to kind of travel. But maybe that made a difference. And first time for some, maybe to see the Ole Miss Blues come out last night. But nice look. You kind of sporting that this morning.
Nice Ole Miss blue. It does look good.
Is it Ole Miss blue or Carolina blue, or do we know?
I'm not sure.
Oakland alternate blue.
That's
maybe.
it. Our alternate jerseys, you know, probably put those away for the winter now, and I don't think they'll be getting those out anytime soon. But you know, probably go with red this week. Luckily, I don't make that call.
Yeah. Somebody else gets to do that, right?
Yes.
With the wardrobe. Well, next up is Green Hill, and for folks who maybe don't realize the history there, Mount Juliet has been, you know, the team kind of on top there in Wilson County for a while, but they have grown so much in Mount Juliet that they built another school, Green Hill, a few years ago. And boy, Green Hill has exploded onto the scene in really all sports. State champion in softball. They're doing really well in football this year. So that's the opponent. So should be no excuses for them not to bring a big crowd.
Oh yeah. They you know, they shouldn't have to go very far, you know, to find us. And I think Coach Crouch over there has done a heck of a job, you know, just in a short amount of time. He's an up-and-comer that is, you know, well-known throughout the state of, you know, just having a great team. And they've beaten some really good teams, you know, and part of it is, you know, those Wilson County guys, you know, they've given us trouble over the years, you know, whether it be Lebanon or Mount Juliet. And like I said, they're getting their fair share of players over at Green Hill. And, you know, like I said, we just don't have common opponents. And, you know, watching those guys against Cookeville, they overcame like 5 turnovers to still win by a couple touchdowns. And that's a testament to how hard their kids play and how well they're coached. So, you know, got to dive into learning more about those guys. But I know they got a really good coaching staff. And like I said, they got players that play hard. We have seen them in 7-on-7 a bunch over the last couple of years, and pretty familiar with how hard they play and how competitive they are.
Well, I don't remember how many years ago it's been, but I do remember a quarterfinal matchup with Mount Juliet there that it took everything you had in the holster there to get that win.
Absolutely. I think a block punt set us up inside the 5-yard line, or we lose that game. And that set up our first state championship. You know, if we lose that one, we may not be on the roll that we've been on here lately. It might have been Mount Juliet on the roll, and because they would have went on and probably won the state championship that year. So, you know, sometimes state championship games are played in the 3rd, 4th round. So that's why, you know, we keep telling people you better come out and watch these games, because you never know when it's going to be the last one.
Well, maybe it's because we're a little spoiled here in Rutherford County. I think it's 31 out of 32 years, depending on what happens this year, that there's been a team at least in the semifinal. This will be your 21st, Oakland's 21st quarterfinal, but 13 in a row. And that really kind of shows the role that Oakland has even been on, even before you became the head coach, but you continued that along. I guess you've always, since you've been at Oakland, you've been in the quarterfinals.
Yep.
At
Yep.
least.
That's 11 years, and that's nothing to sneeze out about. I think it does allow people to get spoiled sometimes, but ultimately, like I said, we're proud to be where we're at. Proud to be hosting. Had a heck of a regular season to go 10-0, and I think our seniors want to keep playing together, and hopefully these injuries won't affect us too bad, and we can get out there and play our style of football, and ultimately, hopefully we can win 3 more. But we're only guaranteed 1 game, so we're going to get out there and give Green Hill our best shot.
Oakland will host 10-2 Green Hill on Friday night. And, Coach, appreciate you coming in and the hospitality last night. It was fun atmosphere at Ray Hughes Stadium, and I hope all the Oakland fans will be there next week.
Perfect. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks so much. That is Coach Kevin Creasy joining us here. John is going to be back here in just a couple of moments, and we'll be talking some Eagle Bowl football. That's when we come back here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner.
If you need concrete work done, who would I call? Dan France Concrete. Here's why. He's local. He attended Walter Hill Elementary, Oakland, and MTSU. He served our community as a school resource officer for 9 years, and he's involved in the community.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Dan France Concrete is a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. Check out danfranceconcrete.com online to see some of their work.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
Looking for the best Blue Raider gear in town? Raider Tees has you covered. From stylish apparel and hats to unique MT-themed gifts and accessories, we've got everything a true Blue Raider fan needs. Whether you're headed to the game, shopping for a fellow fan, or just want to show off your Middle Tennessee pride, Raider Tees is the go-to spot. Stop by 111 East MTCS Road, right across from MTCS, and check out our unbeatable selection. Raider Tees, bigger, better, and go blue.
You in a hurry for dinner? Well, we've made it even easier to order online at sirpizzatn.com. Tap the location nearest you and begin your carry-out or delivery order at sirpizzatn.com. You can choose from our full menu, and we'll take care of the rest. A Queen's Feast is calling my name. Order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
And we welcome you back to the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner. John Dingett's here with you. A reminder that this portion of the show brought to you by Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, family owned and operated since 1977. Get the best service with Prentice Allsup Heating and Air online at PrenticeAllsup.com. And guest joining me this morning is Floyd Walker, the head coach of the Eagle Eagles. And disappointing, I know, but Coach, nothing to be ashamed of. Really a great effort, and you were in that game and had the lead for a lot of it.
Well, first of all, welcome back to you.
Oh,
okay?
Well, thanks. Yeah,
we're glad you're off the IR list and back here with us. But it's like you said, yeah, I'm proud of the way our kids battled. We were we led most of the game, probably until somewhere in the third quarter, somewhere in that neighborhood, 7-6, and I thought our kids competed. I thought we went into that ball game. I thought we tried to match their athleticism. We tried to match their physicality. We didn't take a step back from them. It was a great heavyweight football game last night.
I tried to describe. I've been to Memphis maybe twice for football.
Right.
It is not an easy drive. It's something that there's nothing to look at if you're on the bus driving. I mean, no disrespect to the Memphis area, but tell me a little bit about how you handled that before we get into the game situation. But got to leave early. There's a lot to it.
There's a lot to it. There's a lot of things as far as, number one, getting transportation. Number two, figuring out where you're going to have your pregame meals at, because you can't do it at school like you normally do. 3 is one of those deals where you figure out, they need a snack, or you got to feed them something after the ball game, and those type of things. But I mean, as far as the trip goes, I tell you the way I tell everybody else. I think the adults make more out of the trip than the kids do.
Well, and you guys have traveled a lot this year.
Oh, yeah, I mean, our normal travel as far as our region games is an hour and a half. So, getting on the bus is something that our kids are very familiar with. But what we try to do is we try not to make a big deal about the travel to the kids. We just try to act like it was a normal routine. And I thought our kids did an exceptional job of treating it that way.
Well, now you had a lead, and you had a lead I think at halftime, right?
We did. Yes.
And things looking good in a close game like that. It can just take one play or two plays or a drive.
And basically that's what it was. I mean, they were able to make a drive, put a drive together, and finish a drive, and we weren't able to sustain some things offensively, but it's just one of those deals. It's playoff football, and you have to play clean, you have to play mistake free, and you cannot allow opponents to have big plays. And I thought we stayed away from the big plays, the big chunk scoring plays. We made them earn their points, and unfortunately we just didn't score one more than they did.
I was really impressed with your defense last night. Jonathan Jordan with 12 tackles. Right. Of course, that's kind of par for the course for him, isn't it?
Oh, hey, I tell you, when you talk about Jonathan and our defense, and you talk about him and Grant Cooper, you look at two kids that been in the program since their freshman year, never really were on the radar for the past 3 years, but all of a sudden, due to graduations, they have to step in, and they have to produce, and it tells you a lot about perseverance when you have some kids that just stay around, and then all of a sudden, here they are. They're on the big stage, and they're able to blossom. And it was just really fun to sit back and watch those two kids play and just have a ball playing this year.
Grant had 9 tackles.
Oh yeah.
Grant, if you know Grant, quiet kid. I mean, you don't even know he's in the room a lot of times, except for his stature. He's a big kid, but boy, on the football field, he has his own personality, I guess.
He really does. I mean, he really does. He's came into his own. He took the leadership role as what we call our Mike linebacker. He's the one that makes all the defensive checks. He calls the defense for us when Coach Span signals it in. And I thought he did a phenomenal job of just leading our defense this fall.
They've kind of done it all year, and you just mentioned it.
Yeah.
I mean, Grant and Jonathan. I mean, they've kind of been the spearheads of the defense. And
wow,
boy,
that dragon's breath is intimidating.
We're going to replace them here in a minute, but
I ain't gonna worry about that today.
How do you plan to dodge it this time? Don't hold back on your strategy.
For Jordan with 100 yards as well.
I thought Jonathan did a great job of running the football last night. I thought Thomas Solomon did a great job of running the football last night. I thought they ran hard. It was running the football and finding yardage was very difficult last night based off of Middle College's defensive front. I thought their defensive front was big, athletic, physical. But I thought our kids did a super job as far as finding space, taking the 3 yards, taking what they're giving them, and I thought our offensive line really battled up front.
It was kind of like a little smash mouth football game, like in the old days, when we used to have those 14-7 scores and that kind of thing.
It was pretty much that way because they wanted to run the ball, we wanted to run the ball. Both teams wanted to control the clock, and it was one of those deals you're talking about, 3 downs and a cloud of dust. It was that kind of throwback type of game last night.
A lot of teams have gone away from running the football, and a lot of times I know some of their high school teams are just not equipped to run it. But really, you believe in that philosophy. That's the thing, and I think that will always be. And you even see in the NFL now, where they're going back to the run, right. And you know how running backs have been kind of like don't pay them very much because well, I see signs that that's kind of a resurgence because running the football opens up the passing.
Running the football opens up the passing game, but what it does, it takes pressure off your defense. If you can run the football, you can control the clock, and then you can finish drives, then what ends up happening is when time isn't on your side, it forces you to make a decision. Do you want to continue trying to be a running football team, or do you want to, try to play catch up? So that's what you try to do. You want, or just put it this way: if you got the ball and you're scoring points and they don't, your chances of winning go up.
You scored rather early in the ball game, got up 7-0. At that time, did you think it was going to? Did you kind of have a feel of what kind of game this was going to be?
I did.
Yeah.
We had, I thought it was going to be a field position game. I thought it was going to be a deal to where if you could hit a couple of big plays and get up, that you'd have an opportunity to maybe come out with a win. But granted, you give them credit. You take your hat off to their kids and their coaching staff. I mean, they did a super job, and they made some adjustments defensively. We didn't really make an adjustment and capitalize on some stuff, but it's just one of those deals to where it just wasn't your night.
Case and Puffer, 2 catches for 54 yards, 1 TD. And, of course, your quarterback, Fox, is what, a sophomore?
He's a sophomore, yes.
I know you don't want to talk about next year, but that's got to give you kind of a good feeling that you've got that experience coming back for 2 more years.
Oh, it does. It does. Because when you know who your quarterback is, that kind of solidifies that position right there. It kind of tells you, where you can start offensively, and then where you can kind of ascend to moving forward. We'll take a deep dive into what we did this year offensively, what we like, what we don't like, what we need to do. Then we'll start looking at the pieces about who's around him, as far as, because you got to replace Jonathan Jordan, you got to replace Thomas Solomon, so you got to look at see who your running backs are, and the main thing we got to think about is the offensive line, because 4 of those 5 guys were seniors and played in a lot of football games. And so,
is there any way that I know a coach is always loving it when the offensive line is the same age as the backfield, and it hardly ever works that way, though.
No,
does it?
It doesn't. It doesn't. Because the adage is every football team is different from year to year, and it's because of graduation, it's because of injuries, it's because maybe some kids don't play. But it is. Every year is going to be different. You're not going to be the same year in and year out. And what you got to figure out is, as you go through the off season, as you go through spring and into the fall, is what kind of personnel do you have, and what can you do with that personnel, and what can they do? That's the main thing. The main thing is what is going to give these kids an opportunity to be successful, and that's what I think our secret has been over the years. We try to do what our kids can do, and what they can do at a high level.
Oh, it must be a good strategy, because every year you seem to come up with new faces, new people. A lot of that is your coaching. You've got some great coaches, been with you a long time, and the offensive line. That's something, I guess, too, Floyd, that you can it takes a little while to develop, but a lot of it is what their mindset, what the kids want to do, how they want to increase themselves physically. but your coach has a lot to do with that as well.
That's the big thing. Yeah, we have to be smart enough to understand what our personnel is. Okay, because at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, it's not what a coach knows. All right, coaches got all the answers anyway, so they think, but it's what can this kid do? Okay, what can this kid handle? All right, and what can this kid handle and do at an extremely high level? Because if you want those kids to play free, you want to be able to take thinking out of it and free their mind up, so when they know this is called, whether it's offense or whether it's defense, they know exactly what they should do, and they can play fast. And that's what we always try to get accomplished at our place.
We're talking to Floyd Walker, the head coach of the Eagleville Eagles, in a tough loss last night to Memphis. I saw middle college. I'm trying to figure out what middle college means, but I guess that's like a junior high of
well, I tell you
high
what,
school.
We talked to people about that yesterday down in Memphis, and what they're saying is basically what this school is. It's an accelerated academic program. There's an interview process for students to get enrolled in this. They have to write a 10-page essay.
Oh, wow.
They have to do a 4-person interview. And then it's something like an entrance exam that they also have to take.
So these are pretty high-quality kids that they're getting.
Oh, yeah. And then what they told us is the reason why they named it middle college is because of their curriculum. Most of them are graduating, but they're also been able to take college courses their senior year.
Oh, got you. Okay. I wondered about that. Looking back and on this year, because it's been a great year,
right?
And we got the privileges of seeing you, fortunately, one time this year. Looking back at this past year, I know there's been some highs and lows, but gosh, what are the memories you take of this group particularly, especially the senior class?
I mean, we talked about it last night. It's one of those deals to where you're gonna miss the laughs with this senior group. You talking about people like, and there's some kids the seniors that you don't ever hear their name called. One kid is a kid named Parker Futrell. Parker Futrell is a senior, was with us for 4 years, and it's like he and I talked last night. I know you didn't get to play as much as you would like. Okay, God just didn't bless him with all that ability, but what he's done is he stayed the course, and he shows up every day. He gives us 100%. All of his teammates think the world of him. He's got all of their respect, and it's the thing that you told him, that I told him last night. Man, I just hope that we helped you be a better man. And and those are the things that you're going to miss. Is just the conversations that you have with these kids.
Is that the greatest thrill you get, really? I mean, I know the wins and losses, but you're going to have those.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, because I told Crimson Armstrong. Crimson Armstrong came in as a freshman, walked into the weight room in the summertime, scared to death, stood behind his mama. Okay? Wasn't real sure this is what he wanted to do. And now he'll probably tell you the best decision he's ever made in his life was coming to Eagleville and playing football. And he got a little bit banged up last night, but Crimson's one of those kids that he's already enlisted into the Marines, so you just think about where he was and where he's at and where he's going, and you just hope that you had a small part to do with it.
It's just amazing the change in him from the time you get him as a freshman to a senior, and gosh, you get to spend all that time with him. And to be honest with you, you're with them a lot.
We are, and that's the great part about being at a place like Eagleville is we're with them a lot, whether it's in a classroom, in the lunchroom, or at practice. And with the numbers that you have, you're able to spend time individually and get to know each one of them. Because also when you have over 100 and something kids, you probably know all of them, but you probably don't get to spend as much time as you would like to talking to each and every one of them. And we just spend a lot of time just shooting the breeze. I mean, sometimes you'll be amazed at some of these conversations that we have and the theories that these kids have. So.
Amen. I wanted to mention before this time is up about the fans. our trip down there and to do the game on the radio, it's just like going to a Sunday church meeting. I mean, everybody's got their seats. Everybody, it's kind of like it's something I've never seen before. It's like they've got their little lounge chairs out there. Right. Some of them have this certain spot. They know when the concession stand is going to be hard to get to. I mean, it's amazing. But now Erica, I know, tried to get a bus up and was getting a bus up to try to go.
I think it made it. Yeah.
And that's unbelievable, the fan support, because it wasn't cheap either. But I mean, to have that kind of intensity from your fans, I guess is what I'm saying, is a real gosh, you just can't beat it.
No, you can't beat it, but it don't surprise you about Eagle. No. It really doesn't. I mean, our people are wonderful to our kids. They are fantastic. If these kids need support, whether it's just cheering on or well, financially, our community jumps in and dives into it and just gets behind these kids. It's really, really appreciated from our standpoint, and like you said, there's nothing like it, especially and I don't know what anybody else in Rutherford County is like, but at our place, we really think we got something special, and it's not just football. I think it involves anything that's got Eagleville's name attached to it.
Well, I do know I sat out in the stands for a few minutes before the game started, which was making Brian very irritated. But just seeing a lot of people, you know, and
you're a legend though. So
I'm not about a legend. But Bobby was out there, and we sat and talked for a while, and boy, it's just a good feeling, and it's amazing, the crowd. All right, now we'll get into this. I know when we talk about the team as itself. Your coaches have been with you for a long time.
Yes.
What's the key? What is the key? Why are they still there? Because I know some of them can probably get offers, because you've got some really good coaches.
We really do have a good coaching staff. And, I mean, I think it's the overall community. 2, I think it's the kids that we have in our program. It's still one of those deals where values are important. Yes or no, sir, it's still valued in our program. Wearing hats in building or not wearing hats in building is still appreciated in our program.
It's the little things, isn't it?
It is, and that's one of those deals to where you can coach kids to try to help them be better people. And I think that's a big part of it, because you can hold kids accountable. Our parents are on board with it. If their child's not doing what they're supposed to do, whether it's in the classroom, in the lunchroom, or whatever it is, I mean, you can talk to them, you can tell them what's going on, and they'll appreciate you trying to help guide their kids. So I think that's the big thing that keeps everybody at Eagle.
It's kind of like a 1960s, when I went to school kind of thing. It's remarkable. I'm going to let you go here, but I did want to mention, when am I going to see the coach, the head coach with the little white hat on and, out there? When does that start? What's next? I mean, what do you do? Weight room is next. I mean, I always get a thrill driving through there, and I see the man with a little white hat on. I know we're doing football.
Well, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna give them some time off. We got pretty banged up the last couple of weeks, and we got pretty banged up again last night, and so these kids need some time away, and they need to get healed up. Some of them have weightlifting classes, so we'll lift a little weights during classes. But we got Thanksgiving coming up, and I think in 2 weeks. Then we'll start and getting ready for Christmas break and exams and everything. So we'll probably just let them get rested up, and we'll probably start back up after Christmas in January.
Owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, specializing in animal feeds, premium pet foods, farm supplies, and more. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service. From personal tax preparation to business bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes, at Craig's Tax Service, our staff is here to help.
Get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
As a former Siegel Star football player, I know the importance of the high school sports experience. Good luck to all county student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're at Rick's Barbecue on Warrior Drive, where, of course, they've got barbecue and smoked chicken, ribs, but they have other favorites.
Our chicken tenders are delicious. We bread them here ourselves. We have so many different kinds of sides, and our nachos are really good and popular. I love the menu. I could literally eat here every day.
Anne Marie Brents at Rick's Barbecue.
We're thankful for the customers. We have a lot of regulars, loyal customers that come in, and when they come in, I already know their order.
Bet you're hungry now. We'll see you at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
In Rutherford County, you know how much it means to have neighbors you can count on. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Womack, here to help life go right when you combine home and auto insurance. Call me today at 615-890-0850 and let me save you money and time.
With service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm Agent Alex Williams. Give me a call at 615-898-1150 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, 1019, 100.5, AM 1450, WGNSsports.com, Big GTV streaming video, and always at the game. The game.
Hey there, it's Brian, and as a customer of First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, I've seen firsthand how they go above and beyond. They have the Gateway and Memorial Boulevard locations, along with 9 more across Middle Tennessee. They make it easy to get the help I need, and I can always talk to a real person. That's a big deal nowadays. That's why I trust First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. They're always there when I need them.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
It's time to talk about Middle Tennessee Christian School sports. It's MTCS Cougar Corner, presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. Each week we sit down with the coaches to recap the latest games and preview what's ahead. It's time to talk about the orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner, right here on WGNS and Big G TV. Stay tuned, the show is coming up right after this message from our sponsors.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
The large majority of our kids are involved in athletics or extracurricular activities, one or the other, and most are doing multiple activities.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
And that's a great preparation for life. How many of us in our life are just doing one thing? So a well-rounded student is a huge deal.
Invest in your child's future in a Christ-centered environment with many athletic and extracurricular choices.
Without a doubt, our students have the opportunity to be involved in multiple activities.
To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
People love to see us on the schedule when they have a home game because our fans show up.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
The way we travel is just phenomenal. Our parents and our community are fully engaged in our school. When we compete, we're trying to do it in a way that honors God. We want to win. We also want to do it in a way that pleases Him.
Providing Christian values and academic excellence in a nurturing environment. That's Middle Tennessee Christian School. Invest in the future of your child. Find out more at mtcscougars.org.
We're back for MTCS Cougar Corner, presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance and fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 1019, 100.5, 1450, WGNSsports.com, and Big G TV.
And welcome to Middle Tennessee Christian School Cougar Corner. John Dinkins back with you. I haven't talked to Coach Peterson in, gosh, it seems like a year, but it's only been a couple of months, I guess. But we're glad to have you back with us. And, Coach, a tough loss last night. We'll get right into it. Tell me, is it a game that you go, we just didn't show up, or we had turnovers, or we had a little bit of both? It's just one of those nights, I guess.
Yeah, it's just one of those nights. Just, got out of hand early, kind of snowballed. It's a shame that that's how it ends. I thought we did a lot of really good things throughout the year. Really proud of our senior group. Most of our seniors didn't play 4 years of football for us. If you kind of go through our list, most of them were there for 2 or 3 seasons. Were guys that kind of joined us late. Eric Bowling's one of them. Played 2 years of football. Became a really good football player for us. Would have loved to see what happens if he plays for 4. Drew Prosser is another one. Really probably played like a season and a half. Played a little bit as a freshman, and then his senior year. You kind of go through that list. Jackson Piercy. We had Malachi White for a year. It would have been fun to see him, if we would have had him for all 4. But I'm really proud of the senior group and how they led and how they, I think really got us back to right back on track to where we want to be. We needed a strong senior group to kind of set the standard again and make sure that we're working back towards what MTCS football is going to be. And, I think we took a lot of steps in the right direction, and I think it was our senior class that really helped laid the foundation.
I guess you'd say they're they were like a stopgap, because you won the state, and then you had a year where you knew you were going to be young, and that group stepped up as juniors and seniors to bring it to this year, and you've had a couple. You're kind of back, is what I'm saying. What you have. The future looks bright.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think they gave me everything they had, and I love this senior group. I think it's a really good group of kids. I think there's a lot of them in there that aren't vocal leaders by nature, that became vocal leaders. I think there's people that came out late, like a Jackson Piercy. He comes out and never played football before in his life, and ends up being one of our best leaders, really vocal leader, guy the kids would follow, and fell in love with the weight room. And
that thunderstorm's wild. Perfect for dramatic impacts.
The young guys,
how do you plan to use the environment? Got any tricks up your sleeve?
We have a lot of guys coming back, a lot of guys that I'm really excited about. I think especially on the offense side of the ball, we don't lose a whole lot. I told our seniors last night that I appreciated everything they did for the program. I appreciated them. And I'm excited to watch them, continue to grow, go play other sports, and then, when they graduate and go and go on to do much bigger and better things than high school athletics. And, I think I told our young guys that, it starts now. It starts now. We're bringing back a really talented group. And, we took a step in the right direction. Now it's time to go take the next step. It's time to go and make sure we win the off season. Go play other sports, go have fun, but make sure we're living in the weight room. Make sure we're getting our bodies right. That way when we get to spring, we kind of hit the ground running, and we're able to build off of what we did this year.
You look at the score and you go, wow, it was tough. It was a tough night. But things have to happen for that to occur. You had Eric Boland with 9 tackles. Cooper Jones had a team-high 12 tackles. 10 carries for Bangura for 71 yards. Also added 4 tackles. Now the loss, it was 49-0, but that just doesn't – it appears that the defense maybe was put in some difficult situations at times.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, started the game off. I thought defense, especially those first 3 or 4 drives, thought they actually played pretty well. Got them in some third and fourth downs. And credit them, they made the plays. We had them a couple times where, you think you're about to get them stopped and they fall forward, just getting the first down. Again, I think at the end of the day, there was a few plays early that, they made and we didn't. And, if we make those plays, I think the start of the game is different, and that changes kind of the whole trajectory of the game. But again, I mean, I think it's a shame that this is how it ended. It's a shame that this was our last performance, especially after all of the good things and all of the things we had done throughout the year. Again, can't say enough about the senior group. Love them. I think we're on track.
But I guess, Coach, you're going to have a game like that. It just happened to be the last one. And it's unfortunate, and that's the one you're going to remember. But every team has a game where it doesn't go your way. Yeah,
it was one of those nights where, we just couldn't quite make the play. We're one block away from springing a big one, right? Like we just overthrow a receiver, make a tackle a half yard past the first down marker, right? Like it's just a bunch of those little things, they stacked up. And most nights it happens a couple times, and then there's always that one night where it just seems like every 50-50 play kind of goes against you. And again, credit Trinity. Thought they played really well. I think they were a really good football team. And so again, for us, it's about, don't just look at this last game as our whole season, right? Like I think we've done a lot of really good, a lot of really positive things. And I think everybody in our classification looks at us and understands that we got a lot coming back, and we're not going away anytime soon.
The future does look good, and you can see it building. Is it kind of similar to the way the other one? I know the state team had 2 or 3 years. They're close, they had to get over the hump, and they did. You kind of feel that way about this team too. Maybe not necessarily looking at. Well, I guess we always look for the state championship, but your expectations are going to be fairly high for this group, I think.
Yeah, I think especially as you start having the talent come through that we have, and you kind of start looking, each year. Really, I think every year I look at it, it's kind of like a 4-year. What do we have right now? What are we going to have next year? What are we going to do the year after that? And I think it's a benefit of being an MTCS is, you kind of have an idea of who those people are going to be, and so we always look at it as like, we had last year, we had a ton of freshman starters all over the place. This year we have a ton of sophomore starters all over the place. I thought our junior class took big strides this year. There's not a ton of them, but I thought they all, that entire group took huge steps in their development, and really excited to see what they do their senior year. I think they're gonna be able to lead us next year and do a lot of really good things there. And then I think our sophomore group becoming juniors is gonna help. When your biggest class becomes a junior class, like that helps when it's not your biggest class as a freshman or your biggest class as a sophomore.
Right.
And so just from a number standpoint, having our bigger class be in the upper half, I think is going to help. And then really proud of our really excited about our freshman group that's going to be sophomores. A bunch of them played a ton. Started 2 offensive linemen. Will Odom, Cooper Ewell. I thought Kingston Glover played well when he got into the game last night. And so, you kind of look at it and go, man, like all of our we played a lot of guys this year. And so I think it's one of those things where it's going to benefit us into next year because the majority of our roster has played significant snaps. Majority of our roster has done it, has been in those games, has been in those tight games. And you know, as long as we learn from things we did wrong, you know, because you're gonna get it wrong when you're young. You just are. And so as long as they learn from that and prepare the right way, I think you know, again, I think we can take that next step.
Yeah, and numbers are big. I mean, and you're trying to build that too each and every year. The freshman class having a big because with numbers you find gems in those numbers too. You know, like kids that work really hard and all of a sudden, wow, this kid as a junior is really, really good. And those are the success stories that you're kind of looking for, not only for the football team itself, but individually for the person, the kid.
Right. Absolutely. You know, I think that group, you know, especially the young ones, they're getting closer to, and you know, that playing for each other is always what's going to win in high school sports. And you know, that is the teams that win play for each other. And you know, I think the bonds we have are getting there. I don't think we're as close as we need to be yet, and I think all of our kids would tell you that. You know, but I think we're in a much better spot right now today than we were at the end of last year. And so, you know, again, I think we're going to have a great off season and really build and come out next year and go put the world on notice.
So you're going to have a big junior class. Those numbers, that sounds good. What's the next step now? You'll give them a few days or a couple of weeks or so, or tell me kind of what Middle Tennessee Christian's going to do here in the next month. Yeah,
I mean, we'll pretty much take really like the next 2 weeks kind of off. A lot of them are going to kind of transition into basketball. Then we'll have Thanksgiving break, and then really kind of after that, like we'll start lifting again in our classes, and so you know, we'll be able to really kind of start hitting that, you know, pretty much right after Thanksgiving break, and
you'll reintroduce yourself to your wife and kids.
Yes,
right? I mean,
yes. You know, I think they're obviously they're going to be disappointed, right, that we lost, but you know, I do think the two little ones at home are going to be very excited to have Dad around a little bit more. I think the little one's going to be upset that she doesn't get to go on the football field as much. You know, the 1-year-old loves it.
Yeah.
You know, she gets excited every time she sees football on TV. If she comes up to the field house, like, we have to go onto the field. Like, she will not leave if she doesn't get to go on the field. You know, so I do think some of it they're going to be excited that I'm home, and some of it they're going to be bummed they're not on the field, you know, with all the boys. But yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be kind of that next step is really the weight room, and just continuing to develop our bodies. And you know, the best thing about a sophomore is they become a junior, right? And so as long as we handle the weight room the way that we're supposed to, I think physically there's going to be a huge difference in our team from this year to next year. And again, I think
and offensively you don't lose a lot, right? I mean,
correct.
You got a bunch of them coming back.
Yeah, we'll lose a receiver. And we'll lose one offensive lineman.
And where will the need be in terms of maybe your numbers are not as the depth, that kind of thing for next year?
I think depth everywhere. I think whenever you're at a small school, you know, I think I'm going to feel pretty good about our ones on both sides of the ball. And then the goal is going to be, you know, developing that depth so that we know, you know, who's the sixth guy up front. Right.
And when you have a good group of starters, you honestly can. I would think it would help to develop that depth, because you don't have to necessarily worry. Maybe that's a bad way to put it, but you know what you've got. Now you're going to build the people that are going to help who you've got. Correct? I mean, is that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, for them, it's going to be about for the guys who have played a lot of football for us already. It's going to be about perfecting their craft. It's going to be about getting their body right. It's going to be about, you know, getting bigger, faster, stronger. You know, for those depth guys, you know, it's going to be, the same thing, getting bigger, faster, stronger, developing their body, but also that mental side of it, making sure they know what to do, making sure if their number's called, they're ready to go. I think up front, we're going to bring back 5 guys who started multiple games for us.
That's huge. Yeah.
And so like that helps. We bring back our tight end, we bring back our blocking back, our both quarterbacks come back, running back comes back, our wing comes back. So, when we still have guys at the X spot, Knox Carden, Jack Thompson that come back. So, for us, we bring back guys at every spot. That have played a lot of football for us. Defensively, we're going to have some holes to fill, but I do think there's some guys that were kind of right there in that second group that are going to be ready to go and take on a bigger role. And then, we got to make sure, again, that we have a great offseason. We're going to need to be in shape. We're going to have the senior group allowed us to play a lot more guys because we were able to go, okay, you're going to kind of be more of an offensive guy. You're going to be kind of more of a defensive guy. You're going to know a spot on the other side of the ball, but you're not going to have to start there. I think we will have probably a couple more guys that are going to have to go both ways. Hopefully we're able to, again, develop some depth to eliminate that to where we don't have, 6 guys going both ways. The sweet spot for me is always trying to have like maybe 3 or 4, and then having our backups be starters on the other side. That way we can kind of keep them fresh throughout the game. But all in all, I think the future's bright. I think, if we attack this offseason the way that I know we can, I think we can really position ourselves to be in a really good spot by the time next fall comes around.
I know your coaching staff. I want to give you a minute I kind of want to give you a few minutes to thank people, because I know that there's a lot of people that mean so much to you and your program. And I guess we'll start with the coaches, because you've got some that have been with you since you've been there, and some maybe even before you were there that have stuck around. And how much do they mean to you? I know they do a lot.
Oh, I think that is the lifeblood of the program. Obviously as the head coach, I'm the one that sits in here and goes to radio shows and does all that. And, but I'm only a small piece of it. I think, Ed Watson, all the things he does, again, with the travel and like, even, this Friday, like making sure, the schedule was right and we got where we needed to be. And like, it seems like a small thing, but when you're organizing the charter bus and where we're stopping to eat and doing all of those things,
you're on the phone.
Yeah, you got to make sure that you got to make sure it's right.
Yeah.
He's batting 1,000. I never have to worry. If Ed tells me we're good, we're good. Mm-hmm. I think I thought BJ did a really good job for us as ROC this year. I thought as the year kind of went on, we kind of adjusted to what we had. And we're already kind of talking about, what is the next adjustment for next year. He's another one. He was the interim head coach before Tackett was here. So another guy that's kind of been around for a while.
And even though he was an interim, that gave him some experience to know what you're thinking and how you feel at times. I would think that would be a great benefit.
No, for sure. Sitting in that chair is different. Mm-hmm. Like it just is, and you don't know, you'll never know until you're there. And so just having another guy that you can kind of bounce things off of, that you can talk about, some of it football related, some of it not. But, just all of the other things that go into being a head coach. And then, Webb, Gip, the offense side of the ball, I think we're all on the same page. I think, Webb and Gip, both young guys that just continue to get better. I think their kids play really hard for them. As you go to the defense side of the ball, Coach Kerr being our DC, I think he did a really good job this year. I think he got our kids to play fast, and I look forward to seeing that grow. Brought in Coach Eubanks this year. He was a new one for us on D-line. Thought he did a really good job. Thought the kids really developed well under him. Thought they got better as the year went on.
And that's what you want to see, really. When you talk about your coaching staff, you see parts of the team get better as the year progresses.
Absolutely. And again, I think they responded well to him, and the kids have to know that you care, and I think the kids know that he cares, and I think they played hard for him. Coach Rawls, Carlos, Kevin Glover, Mike Guerin, they all kind of have worked in different roles with the edge rushers, the Sams, the linebackers. Having those three guys there as a wealth of knowledge, I think, really helps. Carlos and Mike have been there for a while now. Kevin, we brought up. He coached youth ball all the way up for MTCS. He's kind of been with his freshman group all the way up, and I think it was a pretty seamless transition for him getting up there. And again, I think our linebackers, again, continued to play better as the year went on. And then Coach Kerr runs the defensive backs, and so again, I think there's a lot of positives. I think our kids, I think they played hard, right? And I think that is always kind of that one thing where you're looking at as a coach and making sure that we're getting the most out of them. And again, I think our kids responded really well to our coaching staff. We'll sit down and we're always looking to try and add somebody. If it fills a need for us, right, it's gonna be beneficial to both sides. I think always looking to try and get another guy in and help out. And again, I think where we are as a staff, we're in a really good spot. I think we're on the same page. We understand what we're trying to do, and
and then having them there, and I think having the consistency of that coaching staff is always big for a program. If you're shuffling coaches all the time, or the head coaches moved on, that kind of thing, it's always good for stability to keep everybody in as many as you can.
Absolutely, and again, I think they all do a really good job. I tell them all, like, they're the head coach of their position group. If they feel that this is the guy that needs to go into the game, then that's the guy that needs to go into the game. We'll have conversations about it and things like that, but they're the ones that are going to be there, and they're in Indy with them every day, and I can't be everywhere all the time, and so I trust those guys that they're going to make the best decision for the team, and I think they do. And again, can't say enough about our coaching staff. I think they work really hard. I think we took a lot of strides, and I think we're like I said, moving in the right direction. We're obviously not where we want to be yet, but I think we're really close.
Christian Peterson's our guest here on Cougar Corner, as he has been for nearly every week except for a bye week, I think, where we had the volleyball coach. I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. These are tricky, so be careful here, Coach. You had 2 games you weren't able to field.
Yeah.
And just your opinion, do you think that helped or hurt your squad, or did it make any difference at all?
I think with where we were age-wise, it would have been nice to play some games. I think both of those weeks at one point we had somebody penciled in to play, and it just didn't work out.
And you weren't alone. There were other teams that happened to.
Yeah. It definitely wasn't ideal. Like, with a young group like we had, like, we didn't need 3 bye weeks.
Yeah. So will you try to fill in those now?
I've already been emailing with a couple people, trying to make sure we have games for those weeks. And
that's one part of coaching. People outside of coaching don't realize that you're having to do that. That is not easy.
No.
A lot of negotiations,
Absolutely. And I think, it's people aren't dumb. People know that we're bringing back a lot, and we're about to take a step forward, and so there's people that are like, I don't know, they want to stay title in 23. They're bringing a lot of people back. Is that really the game I want to play? And so, trying to find a game that works for both sides, and then.
But you would gladly take a game like that if they were reversed, and the team, you knew you were going to play pretty good. You'd gladly go and schedule that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we have. We've played. We've played the Clay counties. We've played South Pittsburgh. Like we go out and we go find people.
Yeah.
you know, in the 23 year, we played, a team out of Florida that's won 3 state titles in the last 5 years. We played Columbia Academy. We knew they were going to be good. And we ended up playing them again in the semifinals. We're going to find teams that try and prepare us for the postseason that are going to be big. They're going to be physical, and and try and make sure we're ready to go. And so it's just one of those things where you got to be smart with it, right? You don't want to go schedule 7 potential state champions in your non-region, but you do want to go make sure that your kids are being pushed and are getting developed and getting to see good talent. You don't want the best team you played all year to be a team you play in the playoffs. And so, I think again, trying to fill those spots for next year, making sure we have 10. I've been again talking to a couple different people already, and then once the season finishes, we'll blast out the weeks that we're still looking for, and try and make sure that we have games again that make sense for us. Really, for us, it's going to be trying to limit travel, especially after this year. I think that's going to be a big one for us, is just trying to make sure that we're not, traveling to Timbuktu.
Yeah, you'd like to have a home game, I guess, out of one of those 2 that you're trying to get, correct?
For sure. Especially after, we've gone to Memphis, to Jackson, to Salina, to Chattanooga, to Johnson City all this year. And so, trying to not have to hop on a charter bus and drive 2 or 3 hours or more to a football game.
People that just see scores, they don't realize all the other, all the road games that you had. And it can, we're talking like 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. It's not that easy,
Yeah. We had a game, we had a region game where we had to stay in a hotel the night before.
Yeah.
Like it's, we traveled a lot, and, hopefully we can find some games where we don't have to travel quite as far, and we can get it all filled in and, get to 10, because I think that consistency is going to help. I think not having a week 10 this year really hurt us. You have fall break, then you play a game, then you're off again, then you play a game, and like it just I think it was hard for us to kind of really get going again in the second half of the year, having those 2 bye weeks in 3 weeks.
And the cancellations of those teams came at such a terrible time, like right before the season, really.
Yeah, both were in camp.
You had no time to get anybody. It'd be a miracle if you got at least one of the 2.
Right. Yeah. The one happened the weekend before camp started. The other one happened during camp. So not a whole lot of options out there.
I know you tried, but it's pretty difficult. Okay. I'm looking forward to next year. I know you are. I know the Cougars are. I know Jason Piercy is. He's always excited about everything. But it's time to move on to another basketball season, and I know they're looking forward to that. New faces on the basketball program. If you can enlighten us with that just for a minute or 2 before we let you go.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch both of our teams, both boys and girls. I don't want to go down their roster because I'll end up I'll mess people up. I'll forget people, but I've been real excited. Talking with both coaches, I think both of them are going to be really, really good. I've talked about it. I think our athletic department is all trending in the right direction. It's nice to have a bunch of like-minded individuals, and getting after it. And I think our athletic department's in a really good spot. And really excited to watch our basketball teams compete. And really, I think boys are going to be significantly better this year. I think they're going to play well. I think they're going to play really hard. I think there's going to be a good structure to it. And I think our girls team is going to be super talented. Really excited to see the steps they take and their growth throughout the year. And like I said, I'm there at most of them, especially if it's a home basketball game. I'm normally there. I enjoy watching them play. I enjoy watching our football kids go play basketball. When baseball season comes up, I'm going to be really excited to go watch our football kids play baseball.
One of the best single A gymnasiums you're going to find. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's top notch.
And the food, I always have to bring up the food. It's always exceptional.
Yeah.
At MTCS. I guess the James Hill Invitational Tournament will be coming up for middle school. That's coming up probably it's January maybe? Is that started in January? And that's when all the Mr. Piercy gets all those games scheduled, which is an unbelievable task.
Oh, yeah.
And he's had help. Have you had to do anything with that? I mean, I'm sure you work
We work the games. I'll probably have to help a little bit more this year, kind of taking in that assistant AD role. But really, that's kind of him and Billy Snell that handle a lot of it, handle the scheduling part of it. It's a miracle they're able to fit it all in. It's a busy time, because we have our basketball season going on, and we're trying to get all of the middle school tournament in. But it's a really good tournament. I think it's done really well.
And it's 100 and some odd teams.
Yeah, and people keep coming back. So I think we do something right. And again, it's fun. It's fun watching the kids compete. Middle school, high school, all the levels. It's fun getting to see you not being from Tennessee. There's still teams every year that I'm like, where are they from? Like I don't even know who where this school is.
I can remember the first time I was actually coaching junior high, and what year was it? Probably 89, 88, 89, and that's how far it goes back. And it was a little bit before that, but. That's incredible. They took it over from Central Middle, had it, and it just keeps getting bigger. I don't know that. I guess they've got a cutoff for teams now, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's been some that have already been told, like, we're full.
Yeah.
We can't take anybody else because,
It's kind of considered the state tournament, for basketball.
Absolutely.
I know there's others that claim it, but it's the one that everybody wants to go to.
For sure.
And it's a credit to the staff and everybody at the school.
Yeah, I think they do a really good job putting it on and running it, and I think it's well done. There's a lot of time and effort that goes into it. It's not just thrown together, and I think that's what it takes in order for one of those to run smoothly. Like if you care about it and you spend the amount of time that it takes to make sure that it's done right, I think there's got to be a level of care that it takes in order to run those things the right way. And I think it's been really good for us, and I enjoy watching it. I enjoy watching our middle school teams and our elementary teams go in and compete, and excited to watch our high school teams. They get started, I believe, on Tuesday. I think is their first game, and so really excited to watch them and see them kind of go out and get to kind of start the year off and see where we go.
Well, Christian, it's been great. It's been a great year. Your team has been fabulous. They're growing and they're getting better each and every day. And I know the score of this last game didn't end the way anybody wanted it to, but just look at it this way: if it had been the first game of the year, nobody would have remembered it.
Right.
Really, that's how that's how it works. But great future ahead, and stay injury free, guy. That's all I can say. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's Christian Peterson, our head coach of the Middle Tennessee Christian School Cougars. And, buddy, they had a great year, and I want to appreciate him. I also want to tell him how much we appreciate him adding to our little extra 5 minutes that we talk about some other sports. And he's a real asset to the community and to MTCS. That's all for Cougar Corner. For John Dinkins and Brian Barrett, we'll see you next week.